Hey guys, I wanted to do a video tutorial today on a pair of refurbished earrings, and I'm going to start off by showing you these silver tarnished heart earrings, and I am going to make them into these nice yellow dangly earrings. So that is going to be what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so to get started, you're going to need white acrylic paint. I use this as like a base primer. You use this on any chrome or whatever this material is. You use that first, because if you try to put paint on top of silver, you're going to see like the silver undertone under it. So you're going to start off with this and use that as a primer. Then I am going to use, you're going to need this, any color you want to do, but I just chose to do yellow acrylic paint. And the name of this color, I can't zoom in, but this is called Banana. I think I found this at Walmart for like 50 cents. And then you're just going to need some kind of old top coat. Any projects I do like this, I try to use like old top coat, base coat polish that I don't use, because I don't have to put it on nails anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So to get started, I'm going to show you what it looks like. I already started on the back side, but what you're going to need to do is take this fish hook. You're going to need to take that off. So you just flip this over and twist it around a little bit so you can get it off. Okay. Then you're going to slide that on off. If you got extra ones, you can just put that in the trash. Okay, you're going to flip it over and lay it down. You're also going to need a makeup wedge. This is kind of small because it was big, but instead of wasting these things, like for every corner you use, and you know, like when it dries up and you don't need it anymore, instead of throwing a whole wedge away, you can just take a pair of scissors and cut that off and just keep reusing it until you really don't have no more. So that's a money saver tip right there. So okay, let's get started. You're going to take your makeup wedge, you're going to get your primer, and you're going to just dab a little on there, and then you're just going to start priming that. And I'll probably let that dry for a minute. And to make it dry faster, I usually turn on my nail fan that's sitting right here on the table. So I gotta get up for a minute. Let me turn on this nail fan. Okay, I got the fan on, and I'm going to let that dry. That's going to probably dry about 2 minutes, so I'm going to come back and continue once it's dry up a little bit. Okay guys, I'm back. This has dried for approximately 2.5 minutes, so it should be dry. That was already right there, so let me use another finger. See, so that's dry. So we're going to put another coat of white, because you notice you can't see it on the camera, but you can still see silver under there. So I'm going to do another coat of white. When you guys do this, when you put your white paint on there and when it dry, if you don't have any silver, you can continue to the next step. But I would say if it has you can see silver on there, I will put another coat of white paint on there. And if you guys don't have paint, you can always use nail polish. This is the same step. You still got to use this primer, because when you put your nail polish on there, you're going to be able to see silver on there also. So you can use nail polish, but you still have to complete these steps. Use the white paint as a primer and let it dry. Now I don't see any silver on it there. So that first step is complete. I'm going to let this dry for about 2 minutes and come back to you guys. And I will be back in about 3 minutes. Okay guys, I'm back. The white paint has completely dried. I don't have any white coming off of my finger, so it's dry. And I'm going to use the same wedge as before. So what I'm going to do, I was using that end. Dab it on there, make sure no paint's coming out. I'm just going to cut this part off so I can use this again. Okay, even when you're doing nail art, I would do the same thing with this wedge, because these things come with like 28 in a pack. That means you use it 28 times if you use one whole wedge. And I would say that doing this technique, I can use these things well over 100 times, depends on your cut. Okay, so now we got a clean piece. We are going to take our yellow paint or our whatever nail polish you want, it doesn't matter. Make sure you shake it up. And put a dab on there. Okay, you're going to take that and start dabbing away. Make sure you're doing this light-handed, or you will pour your white paint up from under there. I've been doing this for about 2 weeks now, and I can totally say I am addicted to refurbishing earrings now. It's a big money saver. Okay, you're going to dab that. Okay, you can see, let's move this to a new spot. It's all covered with yellow now. Okay, when that dry, I might put one more coat on it. And I gotta come back, my phone is ringing. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. That was my son calling. Okay, now the yellow paint has dried. And I think I want to put one more coat to be for sure, to make sure there aren't any flaws by the time I get ready to finish it up. So while I was on the phone with my son, I went on and let this dry. So this is completely dry. I'm going to put one more coat on here. You notice I didn't cut the wedge because I'm using the same color, so you don't have to cut the wedge every time you put paint on here if you're using the same color. Okay, this looks perfect. You don't see any silver undertone. You don't see any white undertone. It's just all yellow the way you want it. If you want it darker, you can let this dry and come back and put another coat on it. Or if this is fine for you, it's up to your discretion. Everybody has their own opinion or their own taste. I don't want it too dark. So now I'm finished. That is what that looks like on the all white piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to let this completely dry. Since there's like 4 to 5 coats total, I'm going to let this dry a little bit longer. I say 3.5 to 4 minutes. So I'm going to come back once this dry. I'm turning my fan on now, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay guys, I am back and this has completely dried. And now your next step is you're going to take this clear nail polish. Make sure it's top coat, not base coat. Base coat is totally different, and I'll explain to you guys another time, but make sure you're going to use top coat. Base coat is basically like a light adhesive. You put that on first, you put your color on, then you put your top coat on. So make sure you don't use base coat on this. Okay, you're going to open this up. You're going to make sure you got well enough polish on the stick. When you polish it, make sure you don't rub hard because you will pull the color off. Make sure you like roll the nail polish over. I'm going to try to hold it closer and show you what I mean. See how that is? Make sure you got a blob of nail polish on there. And just roll it on there real light. See how I'm putting that on there? So you're going to roll that on there real light. See, it's not coming off on the brush. So that means you're rolling it. It's almost finished. Okay, I'm rolling that on there. I'm going to set it down so I can continue where my finger's at. Roll some more on there. And I'm going to let that dry. You guys, my son been sitting here for a minute. You notice you haven't heard any noise. I have a good 11-year-old. You guys want to see what he look like?
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello.
This is Eric, and he's been bothering me to do a video on some kind of flips he want to do. So maybe at the end of the video, I'll show you guys what he want to do. I don't know what it is, but we're going to find out. But back to the earring. Once that halfway dry, you're going to move it a little bit like that to make sure it's not sticking to the paper towel. So this nail polish is going to take a little bit longer than actual paint. So move this over closer to the fan. I'm going to turn the fan on and let it dry. Once it dry, you're going to put one more coat of clear coat on there. Let that dry completely. It's up to you if you want to put a third coat on there. Me personally, I usually put a third coat on there so you won't have to worry about your paint coming off or anything. So once I do my third coat on top of this earring, I'll be done, and I'm going to come back and show you guys how to put this back together. So I'm going to say approximately 20 minutes for all coats to completely dry, and then I'll just come back and show you guys the next step. Okay guys, now that my earring is completely dry, now the easy part, which is called the finishing part. I'm going to set that there, and I'm going to grab, you can grab any old accessory or anything that you would like if you want it dangling, or you can just put back your fish hook and just wear them like they were looking before. I'm going to use an old piece of jewelry. I found these at the beauty supply, and I like them, but they're just too small for me. So what I'm going to do is just take this chain off of this heart and then add it on there. You guys probably can't see this, but what I'm going to do is open up this jump ring and then attach it to that earring. This is very hard to come off, but you're gonna slide your heart on off. You're going to slide your earring on there, Bear with me, please. Gotta open that up a little bit more. Okay. Now you slide your earring on there and close it back up. Make sure it's closed back the same way. Okay. Now this hook, since this hook is old on here, you can take the fish hook off and add a new one. See, that fish hook is tarnished a little bit, so I'm gonna add another fish hook. But I do keep these things that come off because there's nothing wrong with them. You can just soak them in alcohol and clean them up and reuse them. So I am gonna keep these. So you're gonna use your tool and take this old fish hook off. Then you're going to hold it. You put that down, then you're going to get a new fish hook. Open up the new fish hook. Roll that ball up there.